you. Good afternoon, everyone. Just since we have large number of friends from Germany, just to acknowledge the support we've received from the ecosystem there. Germany was home away from home during the growth stage of our company, Merck, in Darmstadt. The Merck Group was one of our first customers of the bioprinters, and along the way, we've received multiple grants from them that have helped fuel the journey forward. So we've heard wonderful speakers talk about how AI, open source protocols like Beckon are powering the digital economy. But what I'd like to talk about today very briefly is how we're looking at powering the bioeconomy. And the bioeconomy for all of us is basically tech getting into areas like healthcare, medicine, creating more streamlined approaches to take things to market much faster, helping companies and governments spend lesser on R&D and development, and most importantly, utilize the full effect of the future that every government and company is working towards, which is personalized medicine and healthcare. 3D bioprinting can help power this sort of movement towards the vision of creating personalized medicine and personalized healthcare solutions. And we've started our journey by doing this in a small way by building Make in India 3D bioprinting solutions, helping researchers across the country and even internationally now realize the full potential of their biomaterial development processes by helping them convert solutions into end products. So that's sort of our journey as a company that I'd like to take you through today. And since the buzzword is AI, I'd like to start with a short video that we created using a Sora-like model where it was a text-to-video prompt, and that should give you a good understanding of what 3D printing is if you're not very aware, and the future of bioprinting and what we could do, and post that and well deeper into the presentation. I can have
was a burgeoning technology, primarily used for prototypes and novelty items. But visionaries in the medical field saw its potential and began to explore its application in healthcare. This success spurred on further research and innovation, leading to the birth of 3D bioprinting. The process involves using bioinks, a material made from living cells, to print layer upon layer of cell-laden matrices that form functional tissues and organs. A new era in healthcare had dawned, and Next Big Innovation Labs is pioneering research and innovation in the domain. By 2022, 3D bioprinting had successfully created lab-grown tissues of organs such as kidneys, livers, skin, and even hearts. These were not mere representations, but functional, living organoids that replicate actual organ functionality. The implications of this technology were profound. It held the promise of ending the organ shortage crisis and transforming the lives of millions. Today, in 2024, 3D bioprinting is not just a technological marvel, but a beacon of hope for many. It is the embodiment of how technology can be harnessed for the greater good, pushing the boundaries of what is possible in healthcare. As we look to the future, one can only wonder, what's next? What new marvels will the union of technology and healthcare bring? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the future of healthcare is here, and it's being printed in 3D.
So a glimpse of how we're able to bring together various fields of interest, which is 3D printing or additive manufacturing, synthetic biology, materials, as well as the computational design, is the uniqueness that helps us create solutions such as 3D bioprinting and make it possible for researchers to use this tool to effectively create solutions that can get into the lab. While I move through my slides, pardon the speed at which I'm going to move, I've been told that we're running a bit behind schedule. But largely, bioprinting, as you all have probably heard of, can create disruptive impact in all the fields and sectors that you see on screen, right from tissue engineering, which is basically the whole idea of creating a tissue or organ in a lab, all the way to even moonshot ideas like creating bioprinted cellular-based meat that could potentially one day help solve the food shortage that we face with the growing population. So all of this is sort of areas where bioprinting can create a key impact. And one of the critical things that we focused on with Merck Group was looking at how bioprinting can fit into the drug development process, which is typically a 10 to 12-year-old cycle where excessive, more than about $1.5 to $2 billion is spent by any company to bring the drug to market. How can that be cut short? How can that efficiency come in? Is how we looked at our approach. And the focus areas for us is one, as Jose rightly mentioned, how could innovation help create tech for social causes. So one thing we're very passionate about as a company is how could we help potentially end animal testing, and one such way is to potentially create scalable solutions of bioprinted skin. That will potentially mean that companies like your cosmetic R&D folks, your FMCG folks, all of them move away into more sustainable, ethical, cruelty-free approaches that could end animal testing. So that's the future that we immediately work towards. What you see in the middle of the screen is something called an organ on a chip, which is a unique solution positioned to disrupt R&D in the pharmaceutical sector, where you're printing multiple tissue types of interest and creating tissues on demand and in more real-world environment, mimicking your in vivo or inside body environment. What you see on the extreme right is solutions which is basically pure in the healthcare sector. There are tens of thousands of people that wait on for organ transplants, and potentially one day when the tech is at a mature stage where we're able to create personalized tissues and organs on demand, you're looking at a good conversion into doctors using those made-to-order organs, as you might call it, and treating patients. So this is our tech. So we built out 3D bioprinters. We call it Trivima, which in Sanskrit means 3-dimension. So this sort of tech is the base, and which is powering researchers around the country currently create unique solutions, whether it is bioprinting of bone-based materials, bioprinting of skin. We have a lot of researchers, including at Central Leather Research Institute, trying to create bioprinting alternatives to animal leather. So all of this sort of tech innovation is being powered by the bioprinter by itself. And we're happy to say that now we've started our sales and marketing internationally as well. Since there's a number of you all here from an academic setup, I'd like to quickly delve into where bioprinting is creating an impact in the academia sector. You see Delhi University, where they've looked at creating smaller versions of heart tissue that can function like heart, but we wouldn't call it bioprinted heart organ as right now. But this is just basic tissue, and a tissue which is closer to an organoid helps you understand how a potential organ, once printed, could benefit humanity. And this is an example of how they're using expandable material, alveoli, which goes into your lungs, it's part of the lungs. So how you can look at how that's being developed with bioprinted approaches. And this is in our own backyard, where we're powering our own research with our bioprinter being used in IIT Hyderabad to create complex convex layers like the corneal tissue. And this is right now in the animal trial stage, post which we have the Masala Institute who will potentially do the human clinical trial. So this is something that's come out of our own being used in lab. And I'd like to go a little bit more deeper into this, but in the interest of time, I'd just like to say that our journey has been tough for two reasons. One, it's deep tech, and it's about creating something that was not really in existence. The second thing is finding the right manpower. So one of the journeys that we undertook as a responsible company is to also create a platform where students could come and learn and understand bioprinting in much more detail. So this journey takes us into academia very often, where we take our own 3D bioprinting course that's on our own learning software online. And through this course, we've had academic curators curated. We have a complete structure for how the bioprinting could work out. We have a pedagogy that is tried, tested, validated by academic experts in the country. And most importantly, I think the success metric for us is we've had people who've taken the course who become customers of ours. We've had people who finished the course who have become our employees, and folks who have finished it and gone on to do more stronger programs in PhD and masters in the field of bioprinting. So that gives us the joy that we're empowering people and potentially creating the right workforce as the industry matures. And bioprinting, of course, we've gone from the basics of what we can do for academia all the way to professional machines. and that's how we've sort of introduced the course. And I'll just take 30 more seconds just to wrap up. 3D printing is creating a disruptive impact in healthcare, whether it is in bioprinting, medical implants, prosthesis, or even the future of how drugs will be manufactured. We're looking at a future where we will start with the CT scan. A doctor is not going to stop with the CT scan and then visualize it going for surgery. It's going to be a CT scan to a 3D model that is going to be bioprinted in the lab, and then the bioprinted product will go into the patient. So this will potentially reduce complexities in surgeries and also cause lesser patient discomfort in the long run. So these are some of the other work we've done with maxillofacial surgeons to introduce to them the future of where 3D printing can work in healthcare. And with that, I'd like to say that we've started with bioprinting of skin, bioprinting of human cornea. We have potential clients who are looking at using this tech to create cellular meat. We're not too far away from pharma adopting to large-scale use of organ-on-a-chip solutions that will help drive down critically the cost of drug development and increase the speed of development of critical drugs. By the end of this decade, I'm very confident that we will see lab-grown, non-complex sort of tissues being developed and on for transplantation. And why not dream big? We started with the dream to build India's first customizable 3D bioprinter. Now we've made leaps and bounds. And the next moonshot for us is to look at how we can fuel ISRO's journey and India's dreams to do much more in space than just send people out for a short mission. With that, I'd like to thank you all for the time, and thank you, ICB Forum, for having us. And I'd like to acknowledge the presence of one of our mentors and our backbone to our company, Mr. Venkatraju. Thank you.